So now let's move on. Let's talk about compound interest. Compound interest is paid, that should be off the principal of an investment and the interest previously earned. So when you put some money into the bank, you're going to earn interest not only on the money that you put in, but you're going to earn interest off the interest that you've already made. So if you put in $100 and then you got $5 interest, if it's compounded, then it's going to be compounded. So first you'll earn money off 100, then you'll earn money off $105, then you earn like $110 plus the interest, and then $115, whatever your interest rate is. Okay, so your formula for compound interest says A is equal to P times 1 plus R over N to the NT power. So let's talk about what each of these letters mean. So A is going to be the amount in the account after however many years of interest you've been paid. P is going to be your principal amount invested, principal amount being your initial investment, how much you put in at the beginning, plus 1 times 1 plus R, which is your interest rate, over N, and you see N twice because it's also to the NT power. N is going to represent the number of compounding periods each year. So if it says that it's compounded weekly, it's going to be compounded 52 times in a year. If it's compounded monthly, it's going to be compounded 12 times in a year. If it's compounded daily, it's going to be compounded either 365 or 366 days times in a year. So N is the number of compounding periods each year. If it's compounded quarterly, that means it's going to be compounded every 3 months, which is going to be 4 times a year. So make sure you have this down because we're going to use this formula in a couple of examples. So example number 4 says an investment account pays 4.2% annual interest compounded monthly. If $2,500 is invested in the account, what will be the balance after 15 years? So, of course, where are we going to start? Let's start with our formula. And our formula says that A is equal to the principal times 1 plus R over N to the NT power. So we need to try to identify as much of this information that we can find in the problem. So an investment account pays 4.2%. So we know that 4.2% is our rate. The interest is compounded monthly. So if it's compounded monthly, the number of times is 12. If $2,500 is invested, so they're investing $2,500, so that's our initial investment. What will be the balance after 15 years? That's going to be our time. So all we need to do is take these numbers and fill it in. So A is equal to P, which we know to be 2,500, times 1 plus R, and R is 4.2%. So if it's 4.2%, we have to write that percent as a decimal. It's going to be 0.042 over N, which is 12 because it's compounded monthly, all to the NT power, which is 12 times T, which is 15. Okay. All right, so now all we have to do is do the math on this. You can take this whole entire thing and just stick it in your calculator just how you see it. And when you put it into your calculator, then you see that A is equal to $4,688.87. And you know to round to 2 decimal places because we're talking about money, and with money, it's only 2 decimal places. So it is just that simple when you're given all of the information. So if you initially invest $2,500, in 15 years, you're going to have $4,688.87 if you've got a 4.2% interest rate that's compounded monthly. Okay. All right. Next example. Find the account balance after 20 years if $100 is placed in an account that pays 1.2% interest compounded twice a month. So the first thing, let's go ahead and write our formula. So A is equal to P times 1 plus R over N to the NT power. Okay, and so now let's find the critical information that is in this problem. So we know that we need the balance after 20 years. That's going to be our time. $100 was placed in the account. That's our principal, our initial investment. The interest on the account is 1.2%. That's going to be R. It is compounded twice a month. So if there are 12 months, it's compounded twice. That means that N is equal to 24. And is there anything else? I think that's it. All right. So find the account balance. So that means that A is equal to P, which in this case is 100, times 1 plus our rate is 1.2%. So 1.2% we write as 0.012 over N, which this time is 24. And then we need to raise that to the NT power. So N is 24 and T is going to be 20 because that's the number of years. And so again, you just put all this into your calculator and you end up with $127.12. So in 20 years, you'd have made $27.12 because your interest rate is only 1%. Okay. All right.